What's up, babushkas? I'm Baba Yaga, and I'm not only a multidimensional time-traveling Russian witch, I am also a med student. I go to med school, and I wanted to give you a systematic review of fall damage in different games today with Minecraft. For this experiment, or for this educational purpose, I built a staircase. As most of you noticed, this is like perfect staircase you could build. I think it's gorgeous, you think it's gorgeous. Let's head into it. This staircase is exactly 23 blocks high. So for comparison, 1 block is equal to 1 meter in real life. So we got a 23 meter staircase. I'm gonna just jump down the staircase and tell you further details on it. Jump down and you see I'm left with half a heart. There is a statistical chance to die when falling off an obstacle 8 to 10 meters high, which equals about 3 stories. There is a 90% chance to die or a 10% chance to survive when falling from a 7-story obstacle building, whatever. As in our staircase, which is also 23 blocks or meters high. Now, how do we compare real life scenarios, real life injuries to Minecraft or any other game? So, we're left with a health bar. We start with 10 hearts, excluding armor, golden apples and stuff like that. I think the closest we can get to real life is when assuming that the entire health bar depicts the chance to survive. Why am I saying that? If we choose to assume that the health bar shows the chance of surviving a certain event, we're left with a very, very accurate assumption in terms of fall damage. Because I'm gonna do it again, and you guys will see that we're left again with half a heart. We're gonna be left with a half a heart for the entirety of jumping down this thing. So, of course, we regenerate to 3 hearts, but this is like a mechanic which we're just gonna exclude. Because there is no hunger bar in real life which is gonna regenerate your injuries. You won't get your bone fractures regenerated by eating and stuff like that. As you could see, we were left with half a heart, with in percent is equal to 5%. So in other words, there was a 95% chance to die or a 5% chance to survive. Fall damage in Minecraft fits to statistical data that was collected over years and years by emergency doctors and surgeons. There's a about 50% chance of dying when falling down a 8 to 10 meter high obstacle. How about we test that out and see if this correlates with our health bar? Firstly, take a look at the 8 meter mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 8 meters. Let's jump from here and see what damage percentage we get. Okay, this was like 2.5 hearts, I think, which is like 25%. So about 25%. Let's take it up to 9. So we were at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 9. Let's jump from here. Okay, we see 3 damage, which is 30% damage. Let's go up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 10 blocks. I'm curious. Let's jump down there. That was actually 3.5 points of damage. So 3.5 points of damage are equal to like 35% of our health bar, which means a total of 35% health reduction. This actually does not quite correlate that well with our data. Let's try to find the height in which we actually get the 50% health reduction. I'm gonna try it with 12 blocks, 12 meters. Let's see. Okay, this was like 40% from 12 meters. Let's try it with 14. Okay, 14 was a bit too much, so we're gonna lower it to 13. We're at 13 right now. Let's jump from here and see how much damage we're gonna get. At 30 meters we get our 5 points of damage. We arrived somewhere at 12.5. which in mathematical terms would be a big variance. But under realistic circumstances, I think 10 and 12 meters, 12.5 meters are not that far away. I think fall mechanics in Minecraft are kind of appreciable. But what would actually happen if we try to jump off a 23-meter high building, or a 7-story tall building, or a 75 feet high building? I know those were the same heights, just in different measurements. We gotta define the scenario in which we even have a slight chance to survive. In which scenario those 5 to 10% survival rate are actually realistic. I think we can agree that falling on your head or even upper body will lead to damage or injuries that are not survivable. You'd break your skull, hurt your brain, hurt your spinal cord, and by hurting your medulla oblongata or even bigger parts in your brain, you are dead. Your heart rate is not controlled anymore, your circulation and even your breathing will just suffocate and your heart will stop pumping blood. Those traumatic brain injuries are most likely caused by falls. Actually, 28% of traumatic brain injuries are caused by falls. In America, there are approximately 1.4 million traumatic brain injuries per year. 1.1 million of those get treated and released from the emergency room. 235,000 of those get hospitalized, which means they have worse injuries that get to be treated by surgery or medication or stuff. Somewhat about 50,000 of those die. We established that only falling on your feet would give you a slight advantage or even chance of surviving. What actually is going to happen if you land on your feet? Your bones are going to splatter. They're going to obliterate. You're going to break your femur, your tibia, even every small bone in your feet, which is going to be a total mess, which, as we want to survive, is actually acceptable. There is another bigger problem coming with fall. There is a potential to break your hips, to damage vessels. There is a huge net, a very complex net of interconnected vessels next to your hips. So by breaking your hips, bone splitters may pierce through those vessels, open them up, which leads to immediate blood loss. There is the entirety of your blood volume pumping through your hip vessels. So it becomes clear that hurting your hip vessels makes you lose your entire blood volume in your hips. Losing blood volume leads to lowered blood pressure, which then again leads to higher heart rate because your heart wants to compensate the lower output due to the lowered amount of blood in your system. This state is called shock. Shock is a very horrifying complication in those injuries. Your heart is going to damage itself by lowering its blood supply. There's even the chance of your heart stopping to beat. Internal organs are not supplied with enough blood, and finally your complete organism can shut down. So treating those injuries, treating hip injuries, treating any kind of vessel damage is key to surviving such falls. As we saw, Minecraft Steve absolutely does it right. He lands with his feet and he walks away like a boss. I mean, of course, he wouldn't be able to go and build another portal and beat the Ender Dragon after that fall. He'd probably just crippled to death because there is like no emergency doctor right around the corner. But all in all, I think the medical conditions in Minecraft concerning the fall are kind of accurate. So guys, if you want to see more of those videos, I'd like to compare fall damage in different games, but if you're interested in any other injury apart of falling, just leave it in the comments down below and I'm gonna take care of that. Guys, we're gonna see each other in the next episode.